Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to AM Impact on Your Health. AM Impact on Your Health, where every day our goal is to have you learn at least one thing to help you live better and longer. AM Impact on Your Health is heard each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 9 o'clock. I'm Dr. Dennis Courtney, and I'm with you each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 9. AM Impact on Your Health, where each day you'll find current medical news, knowledgeable guests, fascinating health topics, and of course where we do encourage you to call in to join in. Today, folks, this is the interesting week where Freedom of Choice and Cancer Therapy Group is back in action, and keeping true to my pledge, always trying to provide support to that group, we're going to have the featured speaker who'll be up there a Thursday night at Riverside Landings in Oakmont with us today. She's a local gal, and she is hot. I mean, she's hot in a whole bunch of ways, but she is active. She is passionate about all things digestive. Her name is Janet McKee. She's going to be our guest today, titillating you a bit, we hope, to go on up and take a trip to Oakmont on Thursday evening at 7 o'clock there for the first welcome back version of Freedom of Choice and Cancer Therapy Group. Those of you people who have been wandering around on Thursday nights not knowing what to do, the meeting's back on. It's Thursday, and you don't want to loiter in the malls anymore. You can go on up there to Oakmont. I'll see you up there. Absolutely going to try to make it. So, our guest today, in the course of our discussion with Ms. McKee, you want to call in to ask a question or to make a comment. The number will be 412-825-6262. That's 412-825-6262. All things digestive today. Now, things are shaping up and interesting. The first day of fall today. I think 10:30, the autumnal equinox is supposed to occur. Of course, we'll be waiting for the vernal one coming up in about 6 months from now. But chilly as it is today, I think we're going to get some more heat coming out of the week. So don't fret any, and you can put the winter jackets away. On Wednesday, our guest is going to be Sven. Now, Sven is very active with a publication called Lifestyle Medicine. Its second publication is just out on the stands. Stands usually means it's in the doctor's offices of many practitioners throughout the area. We have a generous supply of both the initial and this particular edition, Lifestyle Medicine, the Autumn Journal. I got a big article here on eye programs, and the last one we had a large one on ozone. We'll keep on trying to bring you topics that are of interest to you, but this thing is packed with information from a number of practitioners, many of which you've heard here on the show. Of course, we haven't had Dan here in a while, but Dan Wagner, big article in here, and of course, he's got quite a following up there and does a great job on North Hills. Lori Lankowitz is in here. They're all in here, folks. So you want to get a copy of it to find out what's happening in your area, please do so. Then on Friday, we're going to spend a little bit of time on sensible supplementation. I really fret over this thing. I think I refer to as shopping bag syndrome. Do you suffer from shopping bag syndrome? This is, of course, my nightmare of nightmares when I open the door for my next patient and find him standing there with 2 shopping bags full of supplements. This is not a happy occasion for me. I get the impression that he or she doesn't quite get it. I'm here to help you out on Friday. Once again, talking about shopping bag syndrome, how to do sensible supplementation. We want you to get smart, get active. Oh, heck, you just need to get some help. But we'll help you on Friday. Next Monday, if you're thinking about the eye program, you may want to be involved with our free eye seminar We're going to hold one here in the office, my office in McMurray, 3075 Washington Road. It's going to be on Monday at 5:30. We have a number of people that signed up for it now. Give us a call to let us know you're interested. You might not be the afflicted one with the eye problems. It could be an elderly relative. It could be a next door neighbor. It could just be a friend. Why don't you bring them on in here? They may not understand as good as you do how they can be helped. In fact, quite honestly, they don't think they can. McKee, glaucoma, diabetic retinopathy has nowhere to go in the conventional world. With our 3-day treatment program, we reverse those diseases. And the kickoff, it only takes 3 days to do it. So that's how the month rounds itself out. I'll be talking more about the other issues as the time moves on. We do have a knock on the door. Come on in the store. Hello and welcome aboard. What's on your mind real quick? Hello? Oh, did I miss you? I'm sorry. Hey, give us a call back on another day or another time. I want to mention, TLS program. Of course, we had Patricia Szymanski with us on Friday talking about transition to lifestyle system. If you have an issue with weight and you want to get that taken care of, how about this? If you've got an issue with carbohydrates and you're battling this ability to fight off diabetes, or if you're a diabetic already and you just are hunked down in the mire of not being successful, you want to participate in this 10-week program that Patricia Szymanski runs. It'll be held on Saturday mornings at 9 o'clock out there at the South Point exit to I-79. Now, failed to mention, I know Sarah said you should say this, and I forgot to mention it on Friday, but Saturday morning sometimes is hectic, and I've had a couple patients say, geez, I'd like to go, but I just don't know if I can keep making that thing at 9 o'clock. Now, get a load of this. There's a virtual TLS program that's going to be going on synonymous with the actual one. So online, you're going to be able to participate in a class that you may have missed, or heck, you can just do them all that way. If transportation is an issue, if distance from the facility is an issue, but you still want help and you're saying, I don't think I can make that. Well, if you think you're in that category, give us a call here. You want to talk to Sister Sarah by dialing us up at 724-942-3002. Whether or not you're interested in actually participating, which we hope you do, but even if you do, you want to have that virtual thing. Something always will come up over the course of the 10 weeks, and that's how long this thing will take before it's over with and you've reached your goals. So once again, give us a call, 724-942-3002. Talk to Sarah. She'll get you straightened out. Paresha, look, we had a wonderful time out there at the JDRF Walk for the Cure on Saturday. Unlike my first go-around a year ago in a rainstorm, which was still okay, folks, believe you me. I really enjoyed what a great day it was on Saturday morning, and to see the public's response to the JDRF Walk for the Cure. I'm always fascinated by the families that support the loved one who's afflicted with diabetes. This is usually type 1 childhood diabetes, but all forms of diabetic were there, and we had a chance to meet him, talk to him about him. We had a chance to introduce him to Paresha. Now, we keep talking about weight loss with Paresha, but I'd never failed to mention the fact that carbohydrate control is an excellent way to use the Paresha line of products because they are thermogenic. They burn fat without you having to lift an eyelid. They are satiety quenching. They're obviously low glycemic, but I had a long discussion with one of the fellows out there this past weekend on this cephalic response. This is the one that nobody's talking about, that blows the cover on anything, any diet drink, unless it's water. If you're drinking water, you won't be having to worry about a cephalic response. If you're drinking anything sweet, there's any sweetener in it at all, you are in trouble because you're going to get a gush of hormones that come the moment that sweet taste hits the tongue. And I have it on excellent knowledge from our scientists at Paresha that they have figured out a way to blunt the cephalic. I don't know if it's the combination of sweet and tart, because we're talking about a peach mango tea and a lemonade. Obviously, there's a tart taste to it. The coffee doesn't have either tart nor sweet, but boy, it's excellent too. But all three cases, and even the sweetener, there is a blunting of the cephalic response, and that's a key item. I don't know of any other product that does that. If you're interested in getting them in hand, you can keep on listening for our next Beresha tasting. I'll let you know where they'll be. Or you can just jump online, go onto the website called PittsburghEyeProtocol.com. I say that because all of the products that I endorse are found on that site. On the opening page, click on the product icon. It'll take you to a page where all of the various products that I endorse are found. But the number one, top of the list, right there is Beresha International. Click on it. It will take you to the store, my store, where you can purchase product, whether it be retail or a wholesale rate. You can decide that. But get it in your hands and try it. You need a go-to drink that keeps those four things in mind: thermogenic, satiety quenching, absolutely low glycemic, as there are many things, but blunt the cephalic doesn't happen except with these products. Okay, let's do this. Remember, Thursday night's a big night for the return of the Freedom of Choice in Cancer Therapy Group, and we've got the first guest with us today. You're going to love her. I've actually met her before, and she titillated and tantalized me because she was serving food that morning. It was great. Let's find out what Janet McKee wants to titillate you with today. Be right back in a moment with Ms. McKee.
We become confused.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back once again to AIM Impact on Your Health. Heard here in KHB 620 each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 9 o'clock. I'm Dr. Dennis Courtney with you today in a Monday morning version of the show. And as I had mentioned, they're back, folks. And I'm talking about the Freedom of Choice in Cancer Therapy Group that has quite a gathering on Thursday nights, once a month, out there at Riverside Landings, 7 o'clock. Sylvia Prevens has been putting this program together for a number of years, and only the way that Sylvia can, and she has found local talent, and I mean quite a talent this is, a young lady I've had a chance to meet on a couple of occasions, but on my last occasion, beguiling as she is, and tintillating, she's the tintillator in chief, folks. She's got some excellent recipes. She's got a passion for all things digestive. We're going to talk about what she's going to talk about on Thursday night. I want to welcome this young lady, a board-certified holistic health counselor and a certified member of the American Association of Drugless Practitioners. Janet is the founder and executive producer for SantaView. We're going to learn a lot about SantaView. It's such a unique company. I want her to tell us the story. She's got a whole bunch of recipes that you can get a hold of. She's got a documentary film called Bethany's Story I'm going to ask her about. Lady is not letting grass grow under her feet. Let's welcome her aboard and say good morning to Ms. Janet McKee. Good morning, Janet.
Good morning, Dr. Courtney. Thank you so much for inviting me to be on your show today.
Oh, I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm always interested in helping Sylvia, but I think this is great payback because the last time I was in your presence, you served just a wonderful meal to a whole bunch of people that day. And it's my turn to pay back to you for having treated me so wonderfully that morning. You're going to be treating a lot of people wonderfully because, as we'll get into it, you're going to be up at the Freedom of Choice in Cancer Therapy Group. Homecoming, folks. It's the September return to that group on Thursday nights. And Janet, you're going to be the first speaker of the year, and you have such a passion for all things digestive. Let's get into a bit, as I normally like to do, especially with the local gal, about how this all comes about, because you've got a corporate background. You were in business, and you're not in it anymore. It's by choice, and it's because of your passion. Talk to us a bit about your history and how things evolved to bring you to the point where you are today.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you. I would love to explain this because the story will ring true to many people listening, and they'll understand and appreciate what I've been through. I was in the corporate world, MBA type, had a real high-powered, high-pressure job with Oracle Corporation, and I became ill. I was diagnosed in my 20s, late 20s, with ulcerative colitis, which is an autoimmune disease similar to Crohn's disease, and I was told I had to be on medication the rest of my life and there was nothing I could do to resolve it. But as I got older, the illness got progressively worse, and they tried to increase the dosage of medication. You know, the medications for that try to calm the symptoms, but they really can't resolve the illness. And so we tried to increase the dosage, and I became so sick. I had internal bleeding that wouldn't stop. I couldn't eat, which is sort of ironic at all. And my liver was failing, and I couldn't walk. And the doctor, I was in the hospital. They had me on an IV of prednisone. They were pumping me with prednisone, trying to get the inflammation to stop. And he came to me and said, well, we understand why your liver's failing because you're allergic to the medications for ulcerative colitis. So we have two options for you. Either we can give you another medication we can try, but it has a 15% chance of causing cancer, or we can start removing your organs.
Wow.
And
what a choice.
over to me, Dr. Courtney, I didn't know anything about natural health or healing. I thought I was eating healthy. I thought I was living a reasonable life. What was interesting, it was all the stress in my work and in my life that caused the huge flare-up of my autoimmune. And it's very interesting. We're going to talk about that a little bit today. The mind and body are not separate. They're really one. And whatever is going on in your mind can affect your physical body, and also what you feed your physical body can affect your mood and emotions. So it was stress that caused this huge flare-up that landed me in the hospital. Not knowing anything about natural health and healing, it came to me that I'm not going to take the doctor's advice, and I'm going to leave the hospital and get on my journey of learning what other options are out there to help heal my body. And I did. It took me a few years. I don't know how I got through that time, but I was led to different research and trying different things and completely resolved my illness. I'm over 20 years without any illness, no medication whatsoever, and they told me that would be impossible. So I became so inspired about my own self-healing that I decided to attend Columbia University. Institute for Integrative Nutrition used to be with Columbia University. They're not anymore. They do like an online program. And so the people coming out of there are now health coaches. I'm actually a certified health counselor through the program with Columbia. And all of these great medical doctors came to teach us that food and lifestyle are everything. And it was fascinating to learn how many different health challenges you can really manage and resolve when you incorporate these types of concepts that I teach. And so from that, after getting that certification, I also was selected by Dr. Neil Barnard, who's nationally known, to represent his organization, which is Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine. And that's a national nonprofit organization of medical doctors and nutrition experts. And they train practitioners like myself out across the country. And we teach the results of their medical research and basically how foods fight cancer, how to reverse diabetes, type 2 diabetes, how to reverse heart disease. So all of it is based on medical research, which is so fascinating to me. There are a group of doctors out there that really understand the power of food to heal the body. And so that's what I do, and that's why I was at Freedom of Choice 2 years ago speaking about how foods fight cancer and all of the latest research on that. And so now I've been invited back out for this week, which I'm really thrilled.
Well, as is usually the case with a lot of people involved with the alternatives to conventional medicine, there's a personal tragedy that occurs. And listening to your own situation, that was pretty doggone tragic. It seemed as though it almost claimed you, but you broke out of it. There was a bit of chutzpah there on your part to leave conventional doctors, which that's all you knew. But you figure out there just had to be another way, or didn't you really know? You just said, I'm not doing what you're telling me to do. At what point did you just put your foot down and go, no mas?
When he told me he was going to start removing my hormones
okay.
and give me a medication that causes cancer, I couldn't accept that. And I don't know how. I didn't know anything about alternative healing, natural health, and so it must have been divine intervention or something. You know this. It's like something came to me in my head and said, no, absolutely not. And I'll never forget that day, Dr. Courtney. I couldn't even walk up and down the steps of my own home. I was that weak and that debilitated and not really knowing where I was going to go from there. So what brought me through, I have no idea. No idea how I got through that other than, I guess, a will to be healthy. And I loved myself enough and I loved my family enough that I wanted to find another way. And that's really key because I speak to people a lot and I tell them, okay, these are the suggestions I'd like to make for you, to suggest for you to improve your health and well-being. But some of them follow and some of them don't. Some of them, why? Like, why? And it was interesting because the brilliant medical doctor that's in our film, Bethany's story, Gabriel Cousins, he said you have to love yourself enough to want to make these changes or love your family enough. And so I guess that's what got me through and to do the research that I needed to do and to try different things.
Gabriel Cousins, I didn't realize he was a part of that Bethany film thing. And I know him personally. He's one of the 20 top docs. I met him this past spring. So I'm just
amazing.
Name dropper that you are. You sort of clicked there with Dr. Gabriel Cousins because he is. Oh, what an impressive gentleman he is.
Well, we have several lead medical doctors from across the country in that film, and that's amazing too that they even agreed to be in our film. As a matter of fact, Gabriel Cousins is so thrilled with Bethany's story, our film, that he invited me out to present the film and speak to his holistic medicine students a few months ago, and he was so pleased. He said it's now part of his curriculum for all students coming through his program in our film.
So, you just can't dangle a carrot out there. We want to know more about what is Bethany's story all about. What's that film all about?
Yes. I guess I did dangle a carrot,
yeah.
Which is fun little play on words. But actually, what I've been doing for years. So I was holding workshops and teaching people and inspiring people to live a healthier life. And I had a workshop that was holding, and who came walking in but Bethany and her mother. And Bethany was still in leg braces and crutches, and her mother ran over to me to tell me her story. Bethany had become paralyzed from a bad reaction to medications. And for 3.5 years, she saw every doctor and specialist she could find in Pittsburgh, Cleveland Clinic, Cincinnati, Akron. They went all over. And everyone concluded she would never walk again. They were so sure because at one point they went to do a nerve biopsy of nerves in her legs, and there was nothing left to biopsy. So she was never going to walk again. So one day she's sitting in her wheelchair, getting on the computer, and she started to search for what do people with MS do and other issues that are similar. And she came across the idea to eat a really fabulous, healthy diet like I teach. And what was amazing is she still never thought she would walk again. She thought, well, maybe I'll feel better. Maybe this will help me to lose some weight. I'm stuck in a wheelchair and I'm gaining weight. Maybe this will help ease some of the pain. And she just jumped forward full force, went completely on a really healthy plant-based diet. And within a few weeks, she got moving at her feet and her legs. Within 5 months, she's walking and running perfectly.
No. Really?
She actually regenerated parts of her nerves that were completely gone by eating foods the way I teach. And so this is what, she did it herself, but that's exactly, and that's why she came to my program, because she said, I understand you teach this. I want you to know my story. We've seen people reverse, I hope you don't mind me saying this, Dr. Courtney. We've seen people reverse heart disease, type 2 diabetes, even cancers. No guarantee, but we've seen many, many people reverse very challenging, even terminal illnesses when they incorporate these concepts. But we never thought that paralysis was something that could be changeable by diet. We were so stunned by that, we thought that's a perfect example of the healing power of food. It's just too dramatic. We had to share it with the world. So friends of mine and I got together and we worked on this film. It was one of the most difficult things I've ever done. Never realized how challenging it is to create a film. But we did, and we released it and took it out across the country and have had a huge response. This film is changing lives. And that was the whole purpose of doing it. We created a nonprofit organization around it because we just wanted, and this is our goal, and this is our goal at Sana View. Sana is Latin for health and wellness, and you can pronounce either Sana View or Sana View. Sana is more of a Latin European pronunciation, but Sana is Latin for health and wellness, and so we're providing a view into how to achieve greater levels of happiness and good health. We call it achieving greater levels and embracing a better life. We want to embrace a better life, and that could mean all aspects of your life. And we're going to be delving into more than just eating healthy and living healthy, but as our company evolves, everything that improves your outlook on life is what we want to provide to people. We are really passionate about inspiring people on simple and effective ways, because it is simple. And that's what the thing is, Dr. Courtney, what we're talking about here is actually common sense. We're telling you why and how to do it in a fabulously delicious way to eat your fruits and vegetables. How to sleep well, drink fresh water, get some exercise, get some sun, breathe fresh air. Like, this is all common sense. We're actually not telling you that you have to go off to the Himalayan mountains and get some strange concoctions to be healthy. These are things that everyone can do in their lives right now, every day. They're simple, they're enjoyable, the foods are fabulous, as you know. That's what I do. There's a lot of good stuff. So that's what we're doing.
Well, look, one final thing about the Bethany story. No, two final things. One, this is a Pittsburgh girl we're talking about here? This is a young lady you met locally?
She lived right outside of Pittsburgh. Mm-hmm.
Wow. So there's a hometown component to this. And then with respect to this, where can people see this movie? Is it available to them to view?
Yes, if they go to sanaview.com, that's SANAVIEW.com, you just click on the button for Bethany's story. They can either view it from their computer. You just have to pay a few dollars streaming fee. The streaming service charges us a little fee to stream the film. Or you can order the DVD, and that comes right to you, straight from the distributor. So those are available. We have held some screenings around the area. We're probably past due to do another one. When the first was released last year, we did several. And if anybody wants to hold a screening, we welcome that. We want you to get groups of people together to show the film and discuss the film. I even come sometimes and give a talk after the film and do a Q&A, and I talk about some of the interesting things that went on behind the scenes when we were interviewing all the medical doctors in the film. Dr. Neil Bernard's in the film, Dr. Michael Greger, Dr. Gabriel Cousins. These are all nationally known medical doctors, and really pleased with the results of that project.
Man, I'm heading to the computer. I got to see this movie. My listeners are probably going to be doing the same thing, so I'm glad we expanded on that and I asked the question. The next question really couldn't be left untouched. You mentioned this thing called Sana View, and you're the founder of it. And as I go to the websites to find out about you, this thing jumps at me and captivates my interest. You got to talk about Sana View. How is it you put this concept together? This looks like a large endeavor on your part. I want to salute you for having done it. But I believe we just can't gloss over and say the word Saniview and mean it means health, because there are some vibrant components to this that people can get involved with every single day. More about Saniview.
Yes.
How did it come together? You're the founder of it, and then I looked. You've got this thing called the team. The team that's got more people in it than the Pittsburgh Steelers. Okay, you got a lot of members of this team. Tell me about your team members. Tell us about Saniview.
Okay, thank you. And well, luckily Steelers won last night. I understand. I'm a huge Steelers fan, but I think my team lately has been throwing more successful passes and hitting more touchdowns than the Steelers.
I'm glad to hear that. Yeah.
In any event, I have a wonderful team, and that's what happens. Dr. Courtney, when you start going out there in the world and doing what you love and you're passionate about, people show up. They show up to help you, and the most brilliant people come, and it's amazing to me. So this team, somehow I was at a workshop giving a talk, and some of these people started to approach me and said they were really fascinated by what I was doing, and they wanted to find out how they could help. So we sat down, and I was telling them I had this vision to create this nonprofit organization to go out and inspire and teach people, because I work with people one-on-one in my offices in Pittsburgh, and that's great, and I love doing that, but it's one person at a time, and I realized I had to get out there with a message in a larger way to help more people. So they asked me what my mission was for Saniview, and I said, well, I'd like to heal the world. And they all looked at me like, are you crazy? What are you talking about? And I said, well, when I look at Bill Gates, he had the goal to have a PC in every home around the world. Did he achieve that goal? No. But he came awfully close.
Yeah, awfully
close. He achieved a lot. And I thought if I could get to 1% of the population and inspire them in some way to do something to live a better life, then I'm accomplishing my goal. So we're like, okay, how do we do that? And the way we want to do that, and we've been working on it, is to get out there. We do have a monthly newsletter. I send a health article, and it's all no charge. Health article, recipes. Sometimes we send little videos to keep, planting seeds in people's brains. Okay, here's an idea that you can live a better life. We have recipes and articles and videos on our website. We are getting ready to release a series of educational videos that people that can't come see me either in person one-on-one, or they can't come to one of my workshops. They can learn this information from the comfort of their own home, from their computer, by clicking on some of the videos. I'm also was selected by the Allegheny County Teachers Consortium, and it's a group of 40,000 working and retired teachers that I was selected to be the person that does a webinar series for them this year. And so I decided, since I'm doing a webinar for them, to invite the public to it as well. So twice a month, I videotape right from my office or my home, or if I'm working in the kitchen, whatever I'm doing in that workshop, and it's live, and you can interact with me, you can ask questions, and I teach some concept that I teach in my workshops or with my clients twice a month. And if you can't be on live, it's recorded, and you can click on it later and watch it anytime that's convenient for you. So we're creating as many vehicles as possible to get out there and get in front of people. I do speak out across the country. I had a huge speaking tour last year through various states across the country also. And so that happens sometimes, but traveling is tricky. And that's why I thought if I could make this information available more easily for people, and not just me, I will bring on other teachers as well. And you'll see that when we release our recorded videos, we have other experts from across the country sharing some valuable knowledge. And then the final piece, and this will surprise you maybe even more, is I realize I'm teaching people what to eat to be healthy and happy, by the way. It does affect both.
Mm-hmm.
But I started considering it's not just what to eat, it's the source of the food. Is the food organic? Is it conventional? Is it coming from 3,000 miles away, or is it local? Is it genetically modified, or is it natural? And I started to think about how this is also impacting us. Is the soil rich so that the nutrients go into the plant so that we get nutrient-dense fruits and vegetables? So I became somehow further inspired to buy a farm. And I think this comes from my family heritage. My father was born and raised in Italy on a in a farm town, and they lived off the land. And as an adult, I got to visit that farm and see where he grew up. He always said to me he was so poor growing up and life was so hard living off the land. Well, I went to visit where he grew up, and he wasn't poor at all. He was rich beyond his wildest imagination. He had a beautiful scenery, breathing fresh air, growing amazing foods with love. And that's what the Europeans do. They care. They care about the soil. They care about the foods that they're growing. They care about the foods that they're eating. And they put so much love and care into it. If you've ever been overseas, you'll notice the food tastes so much better than here. That something inside me, I guess in my family heritage, was still in there, and it came alive, and I just became inspired to start a farm. So through years of searching and searching, I came across the most amazing place, which is right near Seven Springs. It's right off the Donegal exit, so it's right near a resort area where many people visit anyway to go skiing and biking and hiking. And I found this beautiful 52-acre historic farm. It's actually a Pittsburgh historic landmark property. And my team, as you go down that list of the team on my website, you'll see my farm managers, my permaculture expert. These are all people that arrived. Again, remember I told you every time you do something you love and you're inspired by, the people show up. The most incredible people have come and shown up to help me on this farm. I mean, the team runs the farm. I'm just out there a few days a week because I'm so busy. But the most amazing people, Dr. Courtney. And every day, my heart opens up with gratitude over how this is all unfolding. It just amazes me. It amazes me, and I don't know how it's all happening. So my farm manager alone, Kevin, is the great-great-grandson of the family that farmed this land originally back in the 1800s. Like, how is that even possible that I get this person to run my farm? Just the whole thing is unbelievable. And so we're working hard, and that's the next hardest thing I've ever done. I thought the film was the hardest thing I've ever done. Having a farm is the next hardest thing I've ever done, but it's the most rewarding. It's the most fulfilling, rewarding thing. And so we're creating a place not only to grow organic produce, but for people to come and visit. So as part of Son of You, you also, if you want to come to workshops, Dr. Courtney, if you even want to come out there and teach, we have a beautiful historic barn that we completely restored, and we want people to come there to experience this land, to experience this place. It's all fed by spring water, because we feel that even just being there, you achieve some level of healing at so many levels. And whether you want to come and volunteer and get your hands dirty and work in the soil, or you want to come to a workshop, we have different things going on. We have a farm dinner going on this Saturday. The first week in October, Daryl Fry, national permaculture expert, is teaching a permaculture workshop. We have a festival going on at the end of October. So we just want people to come there because we think just being there, we're helping you in some way.
I tell you, I just let you go, and you're like the ever-ready battery. You just kept on firing away. Folks, do you think she's passionate or excited about what she does? My goodness, the energy just spills off of you, and I can see why the team is so energized. If you're the beacon of light from which you're able to light the many other lights, they are well lit and they're on fire too. And I'm at the Seven Springs Resort area just about every weekend. I'm coming. I'm going to come, no doubt about it. And I want you, before we leave today, to give my listeners more information about how they can learn about the farm. I'm going to guess these products, these organic products, you're not growing them. Are you growing them for you, or are you growing them to sell?
Well, originally I thought I'd grow them for me or for my workshop attendees, and all of a sudden we got so much demand for our produce that we are selling it. Now we're coming toward the end of the season. We're in the process. We have one greenhouse. We're going to build some high tunnels. We're going to try to grow fresh produce all winter long. That's our goal. But we do sell at the Ligonier Country Market, Seven Springs, and there's several high-end chefs in the area that just fall over themselves to come and get our produce. And it's the strangest thing. And that can go on. But I don't know if you ever saw purple cauliflower. Typically when you buy purple cauliflower in the grocery store, it looks like cauliflower. It looks like it's dirty, like there's something wrong with it. Well, our purple cauliflower came out bright purple, no joke. It was the strangest thing. And so we're not sure what's going on out there. But high-end chefs and some people are really going crazy for produce because I told you there's something else. There's something else at another level that's happening out there that I can't quite put my finger on.
I think we are putting a finger on it.
We're not yet coming into Pittsburgh with the produce. We're overwhelmed with our first year in production and figuring it all out. But if you're coming out there, Dr. Courtney, if anybody comes out, we would be glad to provide you anything that we can harvest off the farm. And now we're also growing microgreens, or we're starting growing wheatgrass because we've got a demand out there for wheatgrass. So we've been doing some of that, and those are really healthy things to incorporate as well.
All right. Well, you said you really don't know why this thing is catching on. I'll give you a little hint. I think we know why it's catching on. It's because of you. And let's let it go at that.
Thank you.
Let's do this. I'm going to take a short break. When I come back, I'm going to switch a little bit of gears. I'm glad I asked about Santa View. I'm glad I asked about Bethany. I don't know what might come up that I ask about next, but what I'm going to ask about after we take a break is what you're going to do on Thursday night to this group that you've got in the palm of your hands now, because the energy in this interview is going to spill off into the energy of that room, and I'm going to find out what you're going to do with that energy. Can you do that in a concise way when we get back?
Yes.
All right, folks. She's on fire, this woman. She's the tintillator in chief, and you know why now. We'll be right back in a moment with Janet McKee. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back once again to AM Impact on your health here on a Monday morning version of the show. Fast-paced show that it is, folks. And the reason, the light spilling off this lady with us today. This woman was afflicted, but she's healed. And she's spreading her message. And what a message that is. She's going to bring that message to you up at the Freedom and Choice in Cancer Therapy Group on Thursday night, 7 o'clock. You don't want to miss the kickoff to the new year. Ms. Janet McKee, are you with us again, my dear?
Yes.
Okay. I want you to take a moment here, and I want you to tell my listeners what you're going to do in the group on Thursday. I don't think you'd have to say a word. They'd come right now just to meet you. But what do you plan for them? What are you going to do up there on Thursday night?
Yes, great. I appreciate the opportunity to talk about that, because this is a whole area that I've been, working for years on teaching people how foods heal the body and so forth. And more I became interested in this concept of beneficial bacteria and this balance of bacteria in our digestive systems that's really important. And I knew about it, and it was that was simple. We need beneficial bacteria to have a healthy digestive system, and that was the end of it. Well, the more research I started to do, the more I became aware of how absolutely critical the beneficial bacteria is for all kinds of things, not only digestive health and being able to properly break down nutrients and absorb them, but also how this is affecting things like food allergies, which are, it's amazing today. I see it all the time. Every kid has some kind of food allergy, and that was never the case when I was growing up. So what's going on there? We could talk about that. Skin reactions, of course, candida, which is a yeast overgrowth, ear infections, bladder infections, but guess what else? Cancer. is affected by the rates of cancer, by the balance of beneficial or the lack thereof bacteria in the digestive system, but also mood disorders, depression, and even some cognitive things like ADD, ADHD, OCD. These are all could be affected by the levels of beneficial bacteria in the gut. And I found this to be absolutely fascinating. I mean, I've been talking a lot about the food and mood connection and how the way we live our lives affects our rates of anxiety and depression and stress and so forth. And there is a correlation between what you put in your mouth and how that affects you. Everything you put in your mouth affects your brain and body chemistry completely. And people don't realize that what they're eating is contributing to having stress and anxiety so much that they have trouble dealing with it at work, with their family. Even depression is, issues like that are definitely affected by what we eat. But here now I'm understanding that the gut plays a major role. And everything that's happening in our society today is killing our beneficial bacteria. So it's very important that we learn what's going on, why, how to get good balance of beneficial bacteria in your gut, and the benefits you're going to achieve from that. So that's what we're going to go through on Thursday in great detail.
Got two questions, just got to ask them. So folks listening to this station, and certainly we have many discussions about this, patients always want to talk about the probiotic issue, okay? So this must play directly into what you're talking about. Is there a product you're gonna be promoting? Is there something that you think does this job better than others in terms of the actually consumption of that bacteria? And then the second thing is going hand in hand with this, the issue of cleaning out the old stuff through the use of colonic. So I'm going to nail you down for these two questions now. How do you answer those two?
Sure. Okay, so I don't actually sell products. What I do, and this happened through just years of working with clients, I'm very, very picky about any supplement I take. I'm very particular, and my clients know it. And so they would ask me, well, what do you take? And I'm like, well, I take this. Can you get me some? And so through the years, I would just order cases of whatever I take because my clients just like to share in that. And basically, I don't care where you get the product. And you might have some that you recommend, Dr. Courtney, which I would definitely support. Mm-hmm. So I don't actually sell products. I would say these are the ones I take and I trust, but there are many good ones out there. And that's the way I work that, by the way. But I'm so picky about my supplements. I won't take anything if it's not organic and food-based because I feel Mother Nature has what we need, which is sometimes we need therapeutic doses.
Amen to that. I'm so upset with the supplement industry and all this synthetic crap. Okay, so we'll just put an emphasis point on that, and let's say maybe the people will find out about some of what you utilize on your, and that'd probably be a fair question on Thursday night. Yes. What is it that Jan McKee takes? I think all inquiring minds want to know. Okay, and maybe you will reveal.
I actually use 2 different probiotics. Now, all of my supplements I take have a little bit of probiotic and enzymes in them, and I think to help make sure you digest and absorb the supplements. So there are 2 probiotics, and I like to switch. I like to switch back and forth, and at some point I'd even be open to trying a third one because each probiotic has certain strains of bacteria. So in order to get a variety of strains of bacteria, I do recommend that you, over time, just switch around or switch back and forth to your favorite ones. So there are 2 that I take. One's called Original Medicine, and that's really nice. Basic one. It doesn't even have to be refrigerated. It's what they found on this one, that when it's refrigerated, it seems to, the moisture in the refrigerator seems to affect it a little bit. So that's one. And the other one I switch back and forth to is Health Force Nutritionals. It's called Friendly Force. And I kind of like that one too because that one is completely dairy free. So for people like myself and some of my clients that are trying to, for various reasons, which I can talk about someday, be careful with dairy and not overdo dairy. That one's really wonderful, and I really trust that company completely, and that is something. And I can bring some of those along on Thursday just for people to see what the package is and what it looks like, and we can talk about if anybody's interested. I'm glad to get them for them.
They are interested, and maybe you should do that. The other thing I'm going to get is commitment. What did you feel about the cleanses and whether or not the in-home cleanses you can do, or do we need professional colonics, or a combination of both? What do you think about those?
I do believe in cleansing, colon cleansing, digestive cleansing. I do. And I do recommend a few simple products to my clients for that. And I myself put myself on a cleanse at least twice a year. I would prefer to do it 4 times a year. Just my busy schedule and so forth sometimes prevents me from doing that. But these are simple ones. It depends on where the person is. I don't recommend that somebody who's eating burgers and fries all of a sudden jumps on a cleanse. I like to see them first, improve their diet, and your body will naturally detoxify and cleanse if you treat it correctly. So I encourage that first, and then when they're ready, if they've never done a cleanse before, I start them on a really basic, simple one. And none of these are anything that makes you run to the bathroom, in the middle of the day in an uncomfortable way. They're really wonderful that way. And then as they progress, I would give them something a little bit more assertive. And I think detoxification of the body is absolutely critical. Now, colonics are something that's a personal choice. And is that something you offer, Dr. Courtney?
We don't have it in the office, but there's just a very few number of people that actually do colonics in the Western Pennsylvania area.
Yeah. Okay, so that's a personal choice, and I think that is a wonderful option for cleaning out the colon. It's really, really important that whatever you do, whether it's a cleanse program where everything comes, you take everything orally and you just clean out your body, or you do something like a colonic, it's so critical that you get the beneficial bacteria added back in.
Hey, put them back in. All right, those are 2 specific questions. I thought maybe I'd ask them now. They're going to come up again, and I'm sure you can talk about it in greater depth on Thursday night. As we're coming up, and I'm just having so much fun interviewing you, I don't want to allow you to leave without giving us some information. Those listeners who maybe can't make it to Thursday night but are intrigued by you, you got to tell them how to get Santa View information. You got to give us phone numbers. You got to give us websites. Could you do that, please?
Yes, thank you, Dr. Courtney, for asking. SanaView, www.SanaView.com. Sana, again, is Latin for health and wellness. S-A-N as in Nancy, A. Everyone is welcome to contact me, Janet at SanaView.com, or call me at 724-417-6695. Again, that's 724-417-6695. That's my personal phone number, but I will, if I can't assist you with something that the overall company can, then I'll just put you in touch with the person, whether it's a technical question or if it's a health-related question. We'll make sure that whatever you need, we will handle.
Well, that's fair enough. I just think you're going to pack the house on Thursday. I think I'm going to try like the Dickens to get there, even though we've met before. I'm sure the energy that's filling that room, I just want to be a part of the energy. And for that reason, I am going to try to be there. And I want my listeners to participate 7 o'clock, Thursday night, Riverside Landings in Oakmont. There's problems with the Holton Bridge. I know about the problems. Figure out a way to get across that bridge. If you got to cross down by Highland Park and come up Allegheny River Boulevard, do it. I don't think I have any more PennDOT advisories for you other than to alert you there's a problem with the bridge, folks. And we'll let it go at that. Janet, thanks for coming aboard this morning. Thank you so much for spending some time with me. I'll just say again, the reason why that team thing is working is you. Keep up the energy, and everything else will flow from it. God bless you.
Thank you, Dr. Courtney. Thank you so much. You just have warmed my heart today. I feel so privileged to be on your show, and I appreciate everything you're doing in the world. It's really important. Keep doing it.
Our paths are going to cross multiple times again. Nice to have you aboard this morning. Bye now.
Thank you.
Folks, there you have it. Wonder why some of you is maybe doing pretty well? Jana McKee, you don't want to miss her. She's going to be up there Thursday night at the Freedom of Choice and Cancer Therapy Group, 7 o'clock, Riverside Landings. That, by the way, if you want the address, is 10 Washington Avenue. By the way, 8 Washington Avenue is right in the river, so don't just put on the brakes when you pull up to the building. You don't want to go even 100 feet further. Just to re-mention to you, if you have an interest in our TLS program, the Transition for Lifestyle Systems program, we introduced this new concept of a virtual TLS program. For those of you who have conflicts, I wish I would have mentioned it on Friday and have Patricia tell me more about it. Maybe I'll bring her this coming Friday just to speak about it for those who may want to be a part of it. It begins on Saturday at the South Point exit of I-79 and the offices of Dr. Tyson Swigert. His office is known as South Point Chiropractic. I'll be there to meet you all and greet you and to get you started. I'm going to turn it over to Patricia Sabansky. If you're interested, you want to call Sarah today. The number to do that is 724-942-3002. The other thing, too, is if you have an interest in the Beresha line, those 4 products, they make a coffee, an organic coffee, out of this world that does the 4 things that I told you about. And there's a peach mango tea, and there's a lemonade, and there's a sweetener. Now, they're going to be having 7 products total. We don't know when the other 3 are going to be launched. I'll certainly let you know about those. But for right now, head to the website. You can go to PittsburghEyeProtocol.com. On the opening page, click on the icon marked Products, and there's Beresha. Take it from there. Folks, we got bongos in the background signaling our time out of here. Enjoyed spending the time with you today. Look forward to seeing you on Wednesday with Sven Hosford will be here. So until then, this is Dr. Dennis Courtney saying so long for AM Impact on Your Health.